I'm Jessica Sheffield, and I am continuing my story about my teaching life. And I've already shared how it started and why it started, and then I shared about my first year craziness and how I had my first year teaching. And now I'm going to kind of lump the rest into this video, so that way I don't have to do 1,000 videos. Anyways, after my first year teaching 4th grade in Idaho, it was time for me to move to live with my husband in Utah. We're both from California, but we ended up in Utah, the one state I said I would never ever live. And now I'm here and I love it, so it's okay. But I was trying to find a job from Idaho to Utah, which was super stressful because I didn't know anything about Utah. And I started looking online. So I interviewed with the principal at a charter school, Providence Hall in Harriman, and I really liked him. I never saw my principal, like very rarely, my first year teaching, because he worked at 2 schools and my school was the small school, so he very rarely visited for whatever reasons. But so I really didn't know what a principal did or how much involvement they had, but I knew that this principal, Mr. Johnson, was fantastic. I really loved him and loved him, you know what I mean? I really liked him as a principal. He had some really great ideas and he asked me what I would do if it was my school starting, and so it was really fun to really brainstorm with him. So he hired me as a 6th grade teacher, and I was nervous because I never planned on 6th grade. They were most likely taller than me because I'm only 5'4". And so I was like, oh, okay, sure, I'll do 6th grade. So I spent the next couple months planning 6th grade content. Then probably a month before school, he called me up and was like, hey, Jessica, I need you to switch. I would like you to be team lead for 5th grade. Will you be the team leader and help run the 5th grade team? And I was like, I've only been teaching for 1 year. Are you sure about that? And he said, yes, I want you to help the other teachers become teachers, and I think you're going to be a great leader. So I was super excited about that, and I was excited about 5th grade content. World history sounded pretty interesting, but I knew I already enjoyed U.S. history, so I was really excited to give U.S. history lessons a go. So I taught 5th grade for the next 2 years. Absolutely love it. It has been my goal to go back to 5th grade because I just love everything about 5th grade. The 5th grade students were so much fun. I loved being able to meet a student, help them change their outlook in school, change what they thought about themselves, change their love of learning, and to watch them grow. So fun to teach 5th grade. And now, once again, I'm older, they're older. Some of them have kids the same age as mine, and some of them are just now starting their families, and I just love watching them grow into adults. Well, that 2nd year teaching, I got pregnant unexpectedly, and I was shocked. I was like, I didn't plan on this. Like, huh? And so I told my principal, and he was like, oh, okay, you know, we'll make this work, whatever. So had my baby in February, and I was home for just 2 weeks with my baby, and I was like, I can't go back. Like, I'm going back because I can't leave teaching, but I can't go back full time. So I emailed my principal and I said, hey, I gotta go part-time. I want to be home with my baby. I want to enjoy this time with him. And he emailed back and was like, Jessica, you said you were never going to leave teaching. You were always going to teach. What the heck? Like, and of course he's a dad, so he understood this new love of a child that I had. So he understood, and I said, I have to go somewhere else and find a part-time job. And he said, no. Nope. Don't look for another part-time job. Let me see what I can figure out. And I was like, well, we already have 2 part-time jobs, teachers at our school. The board would not let me job share with another 5th grade teacher who also wanted to job share, but because she was having a baby, and they said no. And so it was like, I don't really have any options. There's no space for me and I need to find something because I still need some of an income. So I went ahead and waited for him to come back to me, and he ended up giving me a part-time kindergarten position at the school. I didn't know anything else other than that I was offered a job, and I was very excited. But I was going from 5th grade to kindergarten, and I was like, insane. I will also have to tell you that I never planned on kindergarten either, and that'll be a different video. But I had the very best kindergarten team. They were amazing to learn from. I had a lot of learning to do because it's a whole different world from upper grades to lower grades that I was just shocked by. I enjoyed it, didn't love it, and our charter school was expanding and adding a middle school on, so I actually asked to be hired as a part-time U.S. history teacher. And I was so excited. They accepted that because they knew how much I love teaching U.S. history and what we did in my classroom in 5th grade. So I got hired. Well, they fired the principal, which was a huge mistake because he was amazing. They fired the principal, hired someone else. They took over, like, it was crazy. Anyways, then over the next, like the end of the school year, they simply said, we're changing your position to a full-time U.S. history. And I was like, but I don't want full-time, so can I just go back to kindergarten then? I'll just go back, no problem. And like, oh no, we changed that too. That's a full-time kindergarten position now. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm kind of screwed and kicked out of the school. And they're like, no, you could stay if you want to do full-time. I'm like, well, no, I don't. And I helped start the school, and I've been a leader in the school, but okay, I guess that doesn't matter. And then they said, well, do you want to teach Spanish? And I was like, well, I'm not like great at Spanish, but I could. Are you going to pay me like a teacher? And they were like, no. Well, then no, I'm not going to stay and teach here. So I found a part-time position in my district at a school. That was an insane year because it turns out that I was now colleagues with the person that I took the job from, which I had no idea. I didn't know that her part-time kindergarten position was taken from her and given to me. I had no idea. And I didn't know that until I went to the new school and I was like, oh my gosh, I know you. Didn't you teach kindergarten at the school? And she was like, yeah, I got kicked out so they could hire you. And I was like, oh my bad. So that first year teaching in the district was awful because she mistreated me so badly, and the principal didn't care. I heard him go in and say, why the heck is she complaining about this to me? And I'm like, because I'm being mistreated and I don't think that's right. And it was an awful year. I cried a lot that year, and that was just from my one colleague. Luckily, I had another colleague that has become a lifetime friend. Even though she doesn't teach and she lives like 30 minutes away, we still talk every once in a while and we just have this bond. But that year teaching there was awful. I've never been mistreated so badly as a teacher up until that point. So anyways, he said there wasn't space for part-time, so you have to go to new school. I was like, whew, okay. Found a part-time position next to my house. It was probably like 5 minutes away. Very excited about that. I've loved teaching at the same school as my kids. My oldest went there, and then my middle one, and then this last year I just taught my 3rd child at the school. I absolutely love working at the same school as my kids because I get to see them around the school. I get to know their friends. They get to come to my house. I just absolutely love working at the same school as my kids. Working at the same school has been an absolute joy for me in my life. Teaching my own students, teaching my own kids has been an absolute joy in my life as well. Such a special connection and time I get to spend with them, and I just so grateful that I've had that opportunity. My next video will be how this situation ended and how hard it's been for me to accept.